What's going on, guys? It's LadyB and I am back with another update for Town Hall 13. Today I'm going to be revealing the newest defense called the Scattershot. Want to see what it does? Let's take a look. Town Hall 13 is bringing us a new defense called the Scattershot. And as you can see here, it looks like a catapult, so has a pretty cool name for it. But let's take a look and see a little bit more about it, and then we'll go into upgrade features, what the levels are, what the DPS is, and we'll even take a look at it in action with various troops and then in a raid. So as you can see here, the Scattershot heaves very heavy bundles of poorly tied together rocks at whoever happens to be the closest. The bundles break apart on impact and deal additional damage to the troops behind it. And let's take a look at what it's going to cost us and how many days to upgrade. So we are going to get 2 of these, as you can see here in the built area. We have 0 of 2, so Town Hall 13 will have 2 of these. It will take 15 days initially to upgrade it, and it's going to cost you 15 million in gold. As you can see, we have 2 scatter shots here, looking a little bit different. We have a level 1 and level 2. The scatter shots do go up to level 2, and you can see them rotating. So that means we've got a 360-degree radius of action for this that it will target units. Now let's take a quick look at the radius of it, and as we can see, it looks very similar to a mortar. We've got that epicenter that troops would be okay and safe in. That's a little safe zone there. And as you zoom out and pull back, we can see it has a fairly similar radius here that a mortar does. So let's take a look at the details on the info button. Now the Scattershot itself, it has a 3 to 10 tile range. So again, similar to the mortar, which is 4 to 11 tiles. Now this deals area splash damage, again, similar to a mortar, but where it differs is that it targets both ground and air. So that's something a little bit different. And we're seeing some very high hit points on this, 3,000 hit points, very close to an X-bow, including with the damage per second, 150 damage per second on a level 1 with 3,000 hit points. That is a very tanky defense here. It's got a lot of power to it that it's charging, and it takes a lot of steam to take it down. So this is virtually a crossover between an X-bow, having the power of an X-bow, but without having to choose what it's going to target because it's going for both ground and air. Upgrading to level 2 is going to take you 17 days, and it will be 17 million in gold. But what we can see here is the increase in damage per second and hit points. So as you increase to level 2, which is the max, you're going to receive 30 additional DPS. So that's leading you up to 180. And right now, that's way more damage per second than the X-bow. And the hit points are equal to it. Now these can change. Bear that in mind that the stats we're seeing right now are subject to change. But man, this is going to be a very tanky unit that you can keep centralized inside your town hall to try and keep off some of the troops. And we're talking about something that you might want to use your Grand Warden for as you're moving into a base because of the range that it has. Now mortars you can use on the outside, but this is something you're going to want to have centralized inside your base, keeping some of those troops that are moving their way in from really charging through. Let's take a look at it in gameplay, and we'll take a look at a couple of different types of troops hitting it before we actually go into an attack. Baby dragons are a really good troop to try and take out outside defenses. I don't think this is a defense that you're gonna likely see on the outside of a base, but let's see how a baby dragon actually fares against the Scattershot. So we bring it in, drop it pretty close in range. We've got 1 hit, it's doing a lot of damage to it very quickly. That's a 2nd hit, 3rd hit, and the baby dragon's almost done. 4th hit knocks it out, and that baby dragon doesn't quite get the Scattershot done there. Continuing along with the air theme, let's take a look and see how a dragon does. Dragons do deal a lot of splash damage, and they can be pretty tanky. So we have it come in. It's doing a lot of power against it. looks like it's holding on pretty strong, and it is. The dragon actually wins against this unit and is able to continue on his way. Now, loons are a great troop to use if you want to target some defenses as well. Let's take a look, because loons we're either going to use for outside defenses or they're going to wind up on the inside of a base on an air attack. We want to get an idea of how a loon is going to be able to handle a scatter shot. So I have two different options here. One where it's coming in a little bit further away and we see it gets shot down. 2 shots takes down a loon when it's pathing through the radius. But let's take a look when you actually drop it closer to the target. As we look at this closer in range, let's see what happens. So we bring it closer within to the radius. It gets hit once, comes over, and what we really want to see here is how many drops it takes for the loon to take out this scatter shot. We know it wasn't flying in its path. It was able to skirt in, and it takes it out in 5 shots. One more air unit that I think is key to see how it fares against the scatter shot is the healer, because we're going to encounter the scatter shot quite a bit. The healer can come into range very easily. We'll see how many shots it takes to knock her down, and it looks like 3. On the ground side of things, let's see how the ice golem fares against the scatter shot. We drop it in range. It's behind a wall, so the ice golem's going to have to beat on it, but we just want to get a general idea of how many shots it's going to take to knock down the ice golem. And it looks like it's going to be about 7 or 8 shots to take it down. So the ice golem can do some decent tanking against this. And again, as soon as it gets hit, it freezes up a radius. So this is a really good unit to bring into the base with you to do tanking for your P.E.K.K.A. smashes, for your bow witches. Any type of unit that you want to bring within your base might be worth bringing an ice golem. Okay, so the last one here, and this one I think is very important because we do see a lot of bowler compositions going inside the base, and I have a feeling these scatter shots are going to gravitate towards base building inside the base because of the impact that they have. So I've set up a bowler bounce scenario just because it's easier to see, but I also like bowler bounces. And to give you a comparison, if you do a bowler bounce setup like this, if it had the same value, a bowler could knock out a mortar. I think it can withstand about 3 shots of impact from it. So really what we want to see here is how a bowler can handle a scatter shot when it's inside the base. I do have an attack that's going to showcase that as well, but let's see, with nothing around it, nothing supporting it, how a bowler fares. And ooh, he gets massacred in just one foul swoop. So that really is going to say that you're going to have to bring a Grand Warden Tome ability in the center of that base right before that scatter shot shoots your bowlers, shoots your main kill squad in there because of that kind of damage. So I think your witches are going to be vulnerable. Your bowlers are going to be vulnerable. You might want to bring some ice golems with you. And let's take a look at a P.E.K.K.A. smash where I showcase how that Grand Warden Tome takes effect within the center of the base with 2 of the scatter shots in play. I decided to go in with a P.E.K.K.A. smash composition because it is one of the stronger attack strategies currently in Town Hall 12 meta. We see it tripling a lot. We see it as the most common strategy, but also it has a kill squad on the inside of the base. So I think it's the easiest one to work with to showcase how the scatter shot works and utilizing your troops within that. Now we do have a scatter shot set here in the center, and there's a lot of nasty damage. We've got the eagle here. We have multi-targeting infernos all around, plus we have the Giga Inferno from the new Town Hall 13, all centralized here. So let's take a look and see how this kill squad works its way in. But this is where I want to showcase popping that Grand Warden Tome ability and how it can really save quite a bit. So I start off with a queen charge here. I do work my way up. I wanted to make sure I came in on the Town Hall side working towards the Inferno because there's so much damage there. Kind of want to take it out all at once and use an earlier Grand Warden Tome once I'm getting to the center of that base. So the king set for the funnel. I do have an ice golem. Ice golems are great to bring if you're going up against these scatter shots in the center with your kill squad, because they freeze things up. You've got the multi, you've got the eagle, you've got the scatter shots, you've got some splash damage all mixed in there, including the scatter shot. So it's a lot of nastiness in there. Let's take a look as they start approaching. We'll slow this down so we can see the effect of it. And you can see we're just coming up on the cusp of that radius here, everything working together. Bowlers coming in, they're just targeting the town hall and allowing that Giga Inferno to come out. And look at that. We've got the scatter shots coming through, and that is where I pop my Grand Warden Tome to keep everything safe through it. And that's going to be the best use for getting through these scatter shots, is ensuring that you can use your Grand Warden Tome, cover everything up as you're getting in range with all the defenses coming in at you all at once. Now, this is going to be a challenge for base building. We'll see the game shifting around, the base building meta shifting, trying to figure out the best way to defend. But I definitely don't think you want units too close together in the center. You want to have it spread out, but you also don't want it to be picked off, because when you do have it centralized like this, you can use a Grand Warden to keep everything safe through the base. And I think this is a big haven for P.E.K.K.A. Smash and other similar style strategies. So we'll just quickly fast forward through. You can see I brought a Stone Slammer to cut the funnel a little bit, take out some of those defenses, a freeze for that back end Inferno, and everything working through. I still have some P.E.K.K.A.s going, loons continuing on their way through, and it did triple, but the key is making sure that you keep your core safe, and that Grand Warden's gonna be key for getting through your scatter shots. That's it for the sneak peek into the newest defense to come to Town Hall 13. Let me know what you think in the chat, in the comments below. Tell me, are you looking forward to this particular defense? Do you have any ideas of how to use it defensively? What kind of strategies do you think will work best against it? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to click that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed, please make sure to click the subscribe button. And you can always turn on the notifications to know when I'm posting the next video. If you want to follow me on social media, I have that in the description below. So feel free to check out my Twitter, Instagram. Also, Twitch is in there as well. I do live stream on Twitch, so you can take a look there. Catch some great wars, some great action. I gotta give a huge shout out to Josiah Rice, who reminded me that I need to make a LadyB base. So that's gonna be something I'm gonna work on over the Christmas break. And I think that's about it. Until next time, this is LadyB. I'll see you later.